Hi, it's 28th of March, and we're going to do another recording, another class, video class, strange as that may seem. I've just checked the time. This will be about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, so just so that you've got an idea of how long we're going to take. We'll begin with the lifting and sinking exercise. It's a really important one actually, lifting and sinking exercise. And it's in some ways a key to unlocking the three timings that we talk about. Of course, you will have heard, and some people will already well know, but some people not so much. There are three timings associated with our practice. The first timing is associated with body movements. Second timing with the forces within the body. And the third timing is associated with the energizing of the system, energizing and de-energizing. That's a really high level. And actually, I have to say, even the first timing is quite a high level, because we ask people to do things that are perhaps a little uncommon in the Tai Chi world, like we ask them to use their intention to begin to manage and learn how to use intention, which, despite the fact that Tai Chi is based on moving the mind through the body, it's not so widely taught. Anyway, we'll begin with the closing down, and then we'll do the lifting and sinking exercise. So take a really good in-breath, fill the lungs. And the out-breath, take the awareness down from the crown of the head down through the brain, closing down, melting down through the chest and trunk, down through the legs, and settle into the feet. And a really good in-breath, fill the lungs. Awareness to the crown of the head. Take the awareness down through the brain, the closing down, going to sleep inside yourself, melting down through the chest and trunk, melting down through the legs. Find your connection onto the ground, foot pressure. And then another really good in-breath, fill the lungs. Draw the awareness to the crown of the head, and on the out-breath, come down through the brain, closing down, melting down through the chest and trunk, melting down through the legs, settling into the feet. And now listen to the foot pressure. And if you're not sure about that, you can just shift the weight from foot to foot and you'll find the pressure changes in the feet. Listen into that foot pressure, and we'll begin using that to pull the mind up from the soles of the feet, from the foot pressure, pull the mind up through the legs like two streams of liquid light pulled up through the legs that join at the waist, and then up through the central upper body to the crown of the head. And on the out breath, you can let the mind flow down over the face like a liquid flowing over the head, melting the muscles, melting the neck, shoulders, chest, melting down through the legs, settling into the feet again. And then a smooth wave of lifting, pull up from the feet, rising up through the straightening legs, up through the straightening upper body to the crown of the head. And on the out breath, as if a liquid light flows down over the face. Of course, there's no movement of the hands, I'm just using it to illustrate what we're doing. Over the shoulders, over the chest, over the back, lower back, down through the legs, settle into the feet. From the foot pressure, pull the mind up again, smooth wave of lifting, up through the legs, through to the crown of the head. And on the out breath, coming down over the face, throat, shoulders, chest, melting the legs, finding the foot pressure in the feet. And from the foot pressure, pull up again, but hold back the response of the body. So pull the mind up and let the mind rise through to the knees before the knees begin to straighten. Mind rises through to the hips, front of the hips, chest, back of the neck, crown of the head. And on the out breath, mind down through the spine to the lower back. Let the spine lengthen as the lower body falls away. Mind moves into the knees and the lower back still opening. Mind into the feet and the knees still bending. Find the foot pressure. Pull the mind up through the straightening legs, through the knees, hips, chest, back of the neck, crown of the head. Down through the spine on the out breath to the lower back. Let the spine lengthen. Down through to the knees so the lower back is opening. into the feet so the knees are still bending, and settle into the foot pressure. From the foot pressure, pull the mind up, smooth wave of lifting, mind rising through to the knees, the hips, front of the hips are opening, chest and the back of the neck, crown of the head. Then from the head top, on the out breath, down through the spine to the lower back, and the spine lengthens. Lower back is opening as the mind moves into the knees. Knees still bending as the mind moves into the feet. Foot pressure as the upper body flows onto the lower body. And then we begin to pull up again, just concentrating the ankles, then the knees, then the hips, then the chest, back of the neck, crown of the head. On the out breath, down through the spine, so feel the spine changing, into the lower back, feel the lower back opening, into the knees, feel the knees bending, into the feet, feel the pressure building in the feet as the upper body flows onto the lower body. From the feet, pull the mind up, ankles, knees, hips, chest, back of the neck, crown of the head. Down through the spine on the out breath, lower body falling away, the upper body lengthening, upper body flows onto the lower body. Listen into the foot pressure. Begin to pull the mind up in such a way that you feel the joints changing, ankles, knees, hips, chest, back of the neck, crown of the head. Down through the spine to the lower back, spine lengthens, into the knees, into the ankles, into the soles of the feet. And now behind those joint changes, we listen for the muscle state changes. Pull the mind up in such a way that you feel the muscles wanting the ankles to change, the muscles wanting the knees to change, the muscles wanting the hips, front of the hips to change, up through the trunk to the chest, back of the neck, through to the crown of the head, and then down through the spine, listening for the muscles that change, release and align in and around the back. Lower back falling away, down through the legs so the knees are bending, settle into the feet, foot pressure. So pull up again, listening in and around the joints for the muscle changes, in and around the knee joints for the muscle changes, hip joints for the muscle changes, up through the trunk to the chest, back of the neck for the muscle changes, and then down through the spine on the out breath. Listen for the muscle changes, down through to the lower back. Listen to the muscle changes, down through to the knees, down into the feet, foot pressure. One more time, lifting smoothly up through the joints and listen in and around the joints for the muscle changes. Right the way through to the knees, hips, chest, back of the neck, crown of the head. And on the out breath, down through the spine, listen for the muscle changes. Lower back, down through the knees, and into the feet. We'll begin the loosening exercises. Pull the mind up one last time with a smooth wave of lifting through to the crown of the head, and then down to the right foot. As the body releases and aligns and settles in the right foot, you can step out on the left, and then over and down to the left foot, pivot on the heel of the right, aligning the feet so the outside edges of the feet are parallel and forward. And then we pull up through to the crown of the head. And we begin the first of the 5 loosening exercises, really smooth wave of lifting. We can do this quite slowly in the first few cycles. Good in breath, as we know. Good, gentle, long out breath. This is still part of the closing down. So when we change the exercise, as we did from the lifting and sinking to the loosenings, there's usually a small disturbance inside, so we close down again. It's a smooth wave of lifting and sinking. Make sure that the arms lift to shoulder height and fall away. Make sure that there's a good twisting through the center of the body, so the sacrum comes over the heel and the rear quads opening. Sacrum comes over the heel and the rear quad opening. So a smooth wave of lifting and falling, twisting and shifting from side to side. We'll pull the mind up in the lifting, mind down in the sinking. So for the longer trained people, of course, the mind goes earlier to the foot. And you can listen to the pressure in the foot developing as the upper body flows onto the lower body. For newer people, take the mind down through the leg that you're about to sink into, and specifically listening to the quad, the knee and the foot. So we've got a very lucid connection. We're very clear about the feedback that's coming from the leg that you're sinking into. And of course, you can use a good in-breath on each lifting and a long, gentle out-breath on the sinking. We change to the second loosening exercise. It's a smooth wave of lifting through to the crown of the head. Then mind down and centre down for the 4 half arm swings as you settle to the feet. And then we pull the mind up again. Pull the mind up through the joints, up through to the crown of the head. Mind down, centre down. So the centre should be moving extremely smoothly. The lifting smoothly from the feet to the crown of the head, and then down from the crown of the head, flowing back into the feet. So it's 4 half arm swings for the lifting, 4 half arm swings for the sinking. In that sinking, the lower back and spine should change. In the lifting, the front of the hips should open. The lower back opens in the sinking. The knees are bending, of course, foot pressure is building. We pull the mind up in the lifting and the mind down in the sinking. And we want one continuous wave of lifting and one continuous wave of sinking in the center. So despite the arms pulsing, that the center lifts smoothly for 4 and then sinks smoothly for 4. There's something to be said about the timing of the shoulders and elbows, of course. Maybe we'll touch on that on another occasion. But basically we want the shoulders to drop before the elbows are finished lifting, and then the elbows and wrists can fall. So the elbows and wrists fall through space. Just keep going. The elbows and wrists fall through space, so there's no problem in letting them go. But the shoulders, of course, they have to fall through the body itself. So that takes you could say it takes a little managing inside yourself. So we want ideally that the shoulder blades drop before the elbows drop. So we get a wave of a wave through the arms, a wave of movement through the arms. And if the shoulders and elbows drop at the same time, you tend to see this, what I call a sort of W shape, more angular. Whereas if you can find the timing for the shoulder blades to drop before the elbow, you usually get a more gentle curve, both in the lifting and in the falling. We'll change to the third loosening exercise. So smooth wave of twisting through the body. Let the arms go a long way forward and a long way back, and allow the twisting to pull through the arms. So we sink down and forward for the rear arm to stretch and then get pulled through. And we sit back for the front arm to get pulled up and over, as if it's pulled over a barrel or something in front of the chest. The shoulder drops away, elbow drops away, wrist drops away. So smooth wave of twisting, and that twisting causes a stretch through the arms, Simultaneously, the front arm and the rear arm stretch in the opposite directions, of course. So make it very smooth, very soft. Excuse me. And as accurate as you can. So one of the things that we have is this, although the body should be released and aligned, the alignment is such that the body is accurate. So we could release and the body becomes quite loose, but actually things are not accurate. You know, if you watch people doing loosening exercises like this, it's all not good for the training. So we want to release and align. So we need a certain accuracy. It's a paradox. The paradox between letting go and accuracy. So it is possible to let go accurately. You just have to train to do it. All of us have to train to release and align accurately. Because we can all release, more or less, we can all release out of alignment, but finding the accuracy is something else. And Master Wang said he never saw anybody whose Tai Chi was any good who wasn't also accurate. So that says a lot. We'll do the fourth loosening exercise. Smooth wave of lifting, really good in breath. The out breath, mind down, center down, shoulder blades dropping, elbows dropping, wrists dropping. Pull up and the hips are opening, chest changes, back of the neck. Good in breath, the out breath, mind down through the spine, lower back's opening, knees bending, foot pressure building as the upper body flows onto the lower body. Hips are opening already, and then pull up, hips open more. Mind down, center down. On this one, we let the body settle and stabilize, and then pull up from the feet, wave of lifting through to the hands. Then the mind down through to the lower body falling away, shoulder blades dropping, front of the hips opening, hands fill, bend the knees. Loosen the shoulders. Bend the knees, unfurl the spine. Small turn to the right, press away from the right foot. Sit a long way back, flow down and into the back foot, flow down and into the center. You connect to the front foot, sense into the spine, push back through the spine. Good in breath, and on the out breath, flowing down and into the back foot. Rear hip is opening, shoulder blades drop, rear hip opens more. Settle to the front foot, sense into the spine, sit a long way back, pushing back through the spine. Over and down to the back foot, flow down and forward to the rear hip is opening all the time that you flow forward. This means the lower back is changing. And then settle to the front foot, sense into the spine all the way through to the back of the neck. Pull the mind back and up. Over and down to the back foot, flow down and into the center, shoulder blades dropping, hip is opening, chest opens. And settle to the front foot, sense into the spine, sit a long way back. Over and down to the back foot, flow down and into the center in such a way when the shoulder blades drop that the upper body changes shape. Settle to the front foot, sit a long way back. Lower back is opening, spine lengthens and the shoulder blades drop. Back of the neck aligns. Send the mind out from the rear hip. Settle to the front foot. We'll sit back on this one. Breathe in and lift. Breathe out and sink. Breathe in and lift. Breathe out and sink. Place the heel turning to the other side. Over and down to the back foot. Flow down and into the center. Send the mind out from the rear hip. Settle to the front foot. Sense into the spine. Sit a long way back. Over and down to the back foot, flow into the center, Keep the changes going. Send the mind out from the rear hip. Settle to the front foot. Sense into the spine, all the way from the base of the spine to the back of the neck. Pull the mind back and up. Over and down to the back foot. Through the heel under the ground into the distance. Send the mind out to increase the stretching in the back leg, the rear quad. And then settle to the front foot. Energize the spine and then sit back through the energized spine, over and down to the back foot. Flow into the center. Lower back is opening, rear hip is opening, rear knee is still bending, shoulder blades drop and the upper body changes shape. Then settle to the front foot. Sit a long way back. Over and down to the back foot. Flow into the center. Keep the shoulder blades dropping and the rear hip opens. Settle to the front foot. Sit a long way back. Over and down to the back foot. Flow into the center. We'll sit back on this one. Breathe in and lift. Breathe out and sink. Breathe in and lift. Breathe out and sink. And relax. So we'll just go through the form, short form, just because of the space really, just going through the short form at the moment. We may find a way to extend that later. Not too slowly through the form. You know there are separate clips that I did for people learning the form. They're all up on YouTube, but you need the links. I think you can see the first one, the first section, that's available to anyone. So if you're still learning the form, and there's a piece that, as you get going through it, there are pieces that you need, it's there on YouTube, you just need the links. If you haven't got them, you better email me and I'll send them to you. I'm not sure. We may do a little piece of the form. We normally in the classes do the form and then a piece. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, we'll go through the short form. So take a good in breath. The out breath. Let the mind quieten. Settle to both feet. Listen to the foot pressure. And then pull the mind up through to the crown of the head. First wave of lifting. Then the mind to the right foot. Release a line. Settle to the right foot, stepping out. Over and down to the left foot. Pivot on the heel of the right foot. Settle to both feet. Pull the mind up. Smooth wave of lifting. Mind down. Release a line. Let the lower body fall away. Shoulders drop. Elbows drop. Small turn to the right. Press away from the right foot. Along, sitting back and then flow down and into the rear foot. Hip opens, chest opens, hands fill. Settle to the right foot, stepping left. Slowly turning in the back foot, sinking, rear hip opens. Move over what will be the back foot. Flow down and into the back foot. Slowly turning in the back foot. Hip opens, chest opens, hands fill. Settle to the front foot. Pull up, over and down to the back foot. It's press. Settle to the front foot, sense into the spine, sit a long way back through the stretching arms, move in to compress the arms. Settle to the front foot, sit back through the energized spine, turning to the left. Press away from the left, still turning left. Turn to the right, left hand drops. Spiral up and out, single whip. Move over the front foot, that becomes the back foot for the raised hands. And then shoulder stroke, flow down and into the back foot. Keep the rear hip opening, chest opening, shoulder blades dropping. Move over the foot, turning to the left, left hand drops. Stork spreads its wings. Brush knee twist step, small turn to the left, pull up to the right. Stepping left, brush knee twist step. Play guitar, move over the front foot. Smooth wave of lifting, flowing to the back foot. Pull up to the right. Sinking to the right foot, stepping with the left, brush knee twist step. Hip opens, chest opens, hands fill. Sit a long way back. Open the left toes. Over and down to the left foot. Small turn left and then spiral up and over to the right. Concentrate in the right foot as you step through the left. Slowly turning in the back foot. Hip opens, chest opens. Punch. Small turn to the left. Sit a long way back through the stretching arms. Move into the compressing arms, which unstretch. Settle to the front foot, sit back through the spine, turning to the right. Turn the left toes in, stepping away from the right. Flowing to the right foot, turn to the left, spiral up and out. Turn the left toes in, stepping with the right. Carry tiger to mountain, sit a long way back. Pull back, press, shoulder blades dropping and the hips opening. Sit back for the push, move in for the push. Sit back and turn. Press away from the left foot, turning to the right. Spiral up and out. Diagonal single width. I'll change my position. Sit a long way back. The hands are trailing the turning of the waist, stepping left. Turning left, stepping right. Turn to the left, turn to the right. Fist under elbow. Repulse monkey. Stepping left. Smooth wave of lifting, pull up to the left. Sinking to the back leg, stepping with the right. Now continue the sinking. Smooth wave of lifting to the right. Turning to the left, stepping left. Sinking into the back leg. Hip opens, chest opens, hands fill. Pull up to the left. Turning to the right, stepping right. Flow down and into the right foot. Hip opens, chest opens, hands fills. Pull up to the right. Turning to the left, stepping left. Flow down and into the back foot. Spine lengthens, shoulder blades drop, hip opens, right hand fills. Spiral up and out. We'll turn on this one. Stepping with the right. I'll have to adjust my position. Over and down to the back foot. Slanting, flying. Then over and down to the right foot for the wave hands like clouds. Upper body flows onto the lower body, stepping in. Smooth wave of lifting. Over and down to the left foot. Half a step in. Smooth wave of lifting. Over and down to the right foot. Half a step out. Smooth wave of lifting. Over and down to the left foot, half a step in. Smooth wave of lifting. Over and down to the right foot, half a step out. Smooth wave of lifting. Mind to the foot, centers falling. Over and down to the right foot, mind to the foot, centers falling. Stepping out. We turn on this one for the transitional single whip. Move into the hand, stepping. Single whip. I'll have to adjust. Snake creeps down. Drop under the knee. Then adjust the back foot as early as you can. Hip opens, chest opens, hands fill. Sit away from the long, lengthening left arm. Open the left toes. Over and down to the left foot. Turn to the corner. Turn back to the end wall for the knee to lift. Step back. Turn to the corner. And turn to the end wall for the knee to lift. We close to the corner. When you step back, the right hand lifts. Turning to the left, pivot on the heel of the front foot. Turning to the right on the ball of the front foot, wrist to wrist to the corner. Spiral up so there's a stretch through the trunk to the back corner. And when you turn away, there's a stretch through the right arm, shoulder blades dropping for the kick. We turn to the left. Turn to the right. Turn to the left. Adjust the left foot. Spiral up and out to the right corner. Turning back to the left corner. Shoulder blades drop for the knee to lift and the kick. Hands a little to the left and then drop. Swinging up to the right. Step with the left. Right hand wraps the left. I'll take a step. Spiral up and out to the right. Turning back to the left. Shoulder blades drop. Hip opens. Chest opens for the knee to lift and then the kick. Drop left and then pull up to the right. Brush knee and twist it. Sit a long way back. Arms lengthen. Brush knee, twist it. Hip opens, chest opens, hands fill. Sit a long way back. Step, bend and punch. Sinking to the back leg. Moving there. Try to push the hip into the fist if you like. Connect to the front foot to sit back. And step up. Grasp bird's tail. Ward off, pull back, press and push. I'm having to make some adjustments with the feet because of the size of the space, but I'm sure you can accommodate that. Single whip. There's one of those adjustments. 4 corners, sit a long way back. Flowing to the right foot as you step left. turning slowly in with the back foot and shoulder blades drop, hip opens. Sit back so the right hand comes to the hip, turn so the elbow comes over the palm, sit back so the left hand comes to the hip, step with the right, flow down and into the back foot, slowly turning in the back foot. Sit back and the left hand to the hip, move in towards the right foot, turning to the left, stepping left, slowly turning in for the shoulder blades to drop. Sit back and the right hand comes to the hip, turn and the left elbow over the palm, sit back and the left hand comes to the hip, stepping with the right, slowly turning in the back foot for the shoulder blades dropping for the fourth corner. Sit back and the arms lengthen, move in and they fold, pulling through the left arm as you turn left, pulling through the right arm as you turn right, grass bird's toe, ward off, pull back, press, sit back for the push, moving in for the push, sit back and turn, push away from the left foot, flowing to the right foot, spiral up and out, single width. Snake creeps down, we drop under the knee, adjusting the back foot as early as you can with the upper body flowing onto the lower body. Step back, sit back. It's step up to form 7 stars, of course. Shoulder blades dropping. Retreat to right tiger. Pivot on the heel, turn back on the ball. Small circle. Turn to the right, stretching through the arms. Turn to the left and the hands drop and pick up to the left. Step behind. Flow down and into the back foot. Keep the back leg changing if you can. Stepping out. Stretching through the trunk and then the arms. Sit back through the lengthening arms. Over and down to the back foot. Shoulder blades drop. Hip opens. Chest opens. Shoot tiger with bow. Sit back and the hands open. Circling a dropping ball if you like. Then the knee lifts. Step through. Mind to the right foot. Stepping through. Apparent closing. Sit a long way back. Move into the hands. Sit back and turn. Stepping with the right. So the conclusion of the short form, 37 movement form. If you don't train with me so regularly, I'll just say that's the form that we're practicing here is the Chen Man Ching 37 movement form. We just refer to it as the short form. We just do, let me see, 10 to... we just quickly... no, we won't. We'll do a slightly longer meditation, actually. So I think we started about... yeah, that would give me time for the meditation. Yeah, okay. We'll do a slightly longer meditation. Maybe next time we'll do a piece of the form. But as I say, the form pieces are, but without description, without me talking through them, are there already. So if you're needing those... they've been up for quite a long time, but only people who've got the links can see them, more or less. So we'll do the meditation. So we'll do a slightly longer meditation. This time we'll do the 8 paths fully, and maybe we'll do that twice, because in these times it's good to actually really energize the systems of the body. So we want a good, strong, etheric body level to potentially withstand the horrors of the viruses that are going around at the moment. So we'll take a really good in-breath, fill the lungs. And on the out-breath, take the awareness down through the brain, closing down, then melting down through the chest and trunk. That should really increase the pressure in the seat. Spread the awareness out into the room. And then spread beyond the room into the local streets. So you can probably hear birdsong or traffic or And then withdraw from that, leaving it distant. Pull back to the lower dantian, abdomen. Good in breath and draw the awareness to the crown of the head. And the out breath, closing down of the brain, the melting of the chest and trunk, pressure in the seat. Spread the awareness out into the distant local outer world, we'll say. It's a bit ambitious to go too much further than that. And then pull away from that, leaving it distant. Pull back to yourself with a gentle in-breath. And on the out-breath, fall into the daydreaming mind. So it's a very particular part of the brain. And then in this daydreaming mind, it's not really connected to the body. So it's cut off from the body, not really connected to the outer world. So in the daydreaming mind, the dreams can take you, as we know, anyway. And then we'll wake up again from that with a really good in-breath. Draw the awareness to the crown of the head. The out-breath, the coming down through the brain, the closing down through the chest and trunk. Melting, pressure in the seat. Spread out into the room, awareness in the room. Spread out into the local outer world. Then we can withdraw from that, leaving the outer world distant, leaving the room distant. Just pull back into yourself with a gentle in-breath. And on the out-breath, allow an unfathomably deep space to open up within you. Represents your inner world. Fall into that space, let go. And then we'll touch into the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet. Look for the tingling fullness warmth. Spread the awareness around the hands and feet. Capture the sensations on the backs of the hands, tops of the feet, individual fingers and toes, the heat field that jumps the gaps between them. And bring the awareness up through the ankles and wrists, capturing the sensations, mainly looking for warmth and fullness. Pull up through the lower arms and legs, up through to the knees and elbows, up through the upper arms and legs, up towards the hips and shoulders. And then sense simultaneously back into the forelimbs. Of course, they're filled with a thick, warm, pulsing liquid, surrounded by a heat field that exists a fist to a span away from the body. Heat field. Listen into that heat field in the limbs. And then take something of that thick etheric field from the shoulders up through the neck to surround the head. The head now cloaked in a cloud of awareness. And pull that down from the head, down through the neck, down through the chest and trunk, down to the base between the legs, the perineum. We'll make a small increased muscle tension in and around the perineum. And then on the in-breath, as if gathering from all around you, pulling a cloud of light down to compress. So it's about a fist-sized cloud of light at the base between the legs. And on the out-breath, allow the awareness to expand out around the body again, beyond the limits of the heat field. And then we gather in again, a strong effort to gather a cloud of light, compress it down to the base between the legs, like a small cloud, a small fist-sized cloud of light. And on the out-breath, take the awareness back out around the body again, third time. And then the gathering strongly, a gentle in-breath but strong effort of the mind to gather a cloud of light at the base between the legs. Now we form the intention to lift and pull strongly round to the sacrum, and then pull up through the spine, in and around the spine in such a way that the spine activates through to the crown of the head. And on the out breath, flowing down the front center line over the face, throat, chest, abdomen pulling at the base. From the base we form the intention to lift again, pull round to the sacrum, rise up the spine to the belt line and then split a couple of centimetres either side of the spine. Pull up either side of the spine, 2 streams of light pulled all the way up the back. And on the out breath, the flowing down the outsides of the shoulders, over the outsides of the arms, backs of the forearms, backs of the hands, middle fingers and into the palms of the hands. Concentrate fully into the palms of the hands. We look for the warmth and fullness mainly. And from there, from the palms of the hands, pull strongly up the inside of each arm with a big effort, as if pulling something up that doesn't really want to come, like pulling a liquid light up through the insides of the arms, up onto the chest. And on the out breath, let it flow down the 2 sides of the chest, more or less the width of the nipples, down to the belt line. Forget the breathing, flow around the belt line to the navel and down the front center line to the base between the legs. Pull strongly up through the central upper body to the height of the solar plexus. And the out breath, flowing back down the same channel to the base between the legs. Spread up over the quad, the hip crease, then begin to flow down the fronts and outsides of the legs, concentrating. Forget the breathing, flow down the fronts and outsides of the knees. It's almost like following the seams of the trousers, down the fronts and outsides of the shins, to the crease in the ankle, rise onto the tops of the feet, and along the tops of the feet to the middle toes, into the soles of the feet, full concentration in the soles of the feet. And then from there, pull up the instep, snaking behind the ankle, the inside backs of the calves, to the crease in the back of the knee, behind the back of the knee, up the inside backs of the thighs, up to the base between the legs, and on the inner channel to the height of the navel. And on the out breath, we flow back to the base between the legs. So we're going to do the 8 paths again for the driving the energy through the body. We'll do it a little quicker. So from the base, pull strongly round to the sacrum and pull smoothly up through the spine, energizing the spine through to the crown of the head. The out breath, flow down the front center line of the body, over the chest, abdomen, pull at the base. Pull strongly from the base round to the sacrum, rise up the spine to the belt line and split. 2 streams of light pulled either side of the spine, up the back to the tops of the shoulders. The out breath, the flowing down the outsides of the arms, over the forearms, backs of the hands, middle fingers into the palms of the hands. Concentrate there. Then pull strongly up from the palms of the hands, up the insides of the arms to the height of the chest. The out breath, flowing down the 2 sides of the chest to the belt line. Forget the breathing. Flow around the belt line to the navel, down the front center line to the base between the legs. Pull strongly up to the height of the solar plexus. The out breath of flowing back down the same channel to the base between the legs. Spread up over the quad, down the fronts and outsides of the legs. Forget the breathing. Flow down over the fronts and outsides of the knees, the shins, down to the crease in the ankle. Rise onto the tops of the feet, along to the middle toes and into the soles of the feet. Concentrate there. Pull strongly up again from the soles of the feet, up the instep, the back of the ankle, inside backs of the calves, crease on the back of the knee, inside backs of the thighs, up to the base between the legs, on the inner channel, up to the height of the navel, the out breath, flowing back to the base. Now we gather the energy in and around the lower body energy centers. So each in breath, the gathering from the base between the legs to the height of the navel. Each in breath, gathering a cloud of light. Strong concentrated effort. Each in breath, a sense of gathering from all around you. And now we'll take that cloud of light, and the attempt is to stimulate the deep emotional center, the middle dantian. So we take the cloud of light and pull up in such a way that it's as if pulling on something that's gushing up through the central upper body. So pull strongly up through to the height of the solar plexus. Then on the out breath, let the cloud of light expand out to fill the chest, fill the body, fill the heat field, and out into the arm's length distance, and to the back, the sides, above and below, out into this full sphere, that out into the arm's length distance. And return the mind to the base, pull strongly up again, as if pulling on something unstoppable, with a big effort. Pull up to the height of the solar plexus. The out breath expanding out through the chest, body, heat field, and into the arm's length distance. Fill that space in and around the body. Now listening more in the cloud of light than in the body itself. Gather at the base between the legs. Pull strongly up, unstoppably, really big effort in such a way that the muscles inside are activated to the height of the solar plexus. Expanding out to fill the chest and body, heat field, and into the arm's length space. And within that space now, we'll just move the mind in and around that arm's length space. So swirl the mind in and around the limbs, just as you choose, in and around the legs, in and around the torso, around the head. Just swirl the mind, like moving energy in and around the body. Keep doing that. It's like pushing your hand through water. It creates eddies and currents. Use a strong intention of your mind to move the energy in and around the body, in and around the limbs, in and around the torso. And then we'll allow the cloud of light to resume its arm's length sphere again. Then take that cloud of light gently back down to in and around the middle dantian. Go deeply and quietly into the center of the light. Probably now more than at many times, we're concerned about our loved ones. So choose a person or a small group of connected people, and from the center of your middle dantian, send a stream of light out towards the chosen person or small group of connected people. You could say it's like a prayer, sending the stream of light out towards the people, person. It makes no sense if they're not already connected to cluster them together. So mothers and fathers obviously connected, brothers and sisters obviously connected, but people who are disparate, you might say, you might not want to include those exactly in the same group. You just move your intention along to each person as you choose. So we can do this more in detail at another time. So sending the light out towards the chosen person or persons. And of course, when you practice this for yourself, you've got more time to do it. And then with a sense of respect and thanks for the connection made, we can leave the person surrounded with light and withdraw our intention back to the middle dantian. Expand out into the arm's length distance once again. And then we take the cloud of light and allow it to reduce gently back down to in and around the solar plexus. Push it strongly up through the chest, up through the neck, up into the center of the head. Centered in the upper dantian, allow the cloud of light to expand out into the arm's length distance again, but centered in the head. And take that cloud of light, allow it to reduce down to surround the head. Then go deeply and quietly into the light, centered in the head. We want to connect to our inner guide or guide to the conscience. So you can see that as a figure of a teacher, or just a light, or a figure of the Buddha, if you like, or something like that. It's a very deep part of ourselves. So our guide to our conscience, and we can ask for help on developing ourselves, on an inner level. And then with a sense of humility and respect, we can close that part of the exercise. Allow the cloud of light once again to expand out into the arm's length distance. Centered in the head, of course. We'll take the cloud of light and allow it to gently reduce down to in and around the head. And then with a very clear intention, pull the cloud of light down from the head, down through the neck, down through the chest, to center it on the middle dantian. And if there's some resistance for that to happen, as sometimes there is, do it twice more. Just pull strongly down so you don't leave too much energy in the head. We don't want that. So pull the cloud of light down through to the middle dantian, and maybe even for a third time, pulling it strongly down. Centered in the middle dantian. Allow the cloud of light once again to expand out into the arm's length distance. Touch into the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet. Look for the tingling fullness, warmth. Let that ripple simultaneously through the whole body. And give yourself a suggestion to keep a connection to this deeper part of yourself. And we'll slowly allow the eyes to open. So actually that's probably just a little bit over the 45 minutes, I think. Okay, so I'll probably do two of these classes a week, and we'll see how it goes. I have to say it's quite strange teaching to a camera. Anyway, we're getting used to these things, I suppose. So that's it. I'll do another one soon. Some people suggested that they would like the trance, guided trance video. I'll do that and send that out as well. So stay well and see you soon. Take care.